Ernest Holmes believed that our mind has the power to shape the world. But what if that power is actually a divine gift that you're not yet using? As we struggle to survive, we're being robbed of a power that is rightfully ours. This truth, unknown to many, could be the key to changing everything. Are you willing to discover how to use this gift? Have you ever felt that subtle intuition, almost like a whisper, telling you it's the right moment to do something? Maybe it's the desire to change your life, an urge to take the first step towards something new, or just the feeling that something is aligning in a special way. What many don't realize is that these moments aren't just coincidences. They are windows that open, opportunities that the universe subtly places in our path, waiting for us to be ready to step through them. The idea of acting in the moment goes beyond simple motivational advice. It's about understanding that there's an invisible dance happening around us, a synchronicity that sometimes aligns perfectly with our deepest desires. This alignment isn't constant. There are moments when paths cross and the potential for significant change appears, and that's where the true importance of acting lies. If we let it pass, we could end up waiting a long time for a similar opportunity to arise. Have you ever thought about how many times hesitation has made you miss something that could have transformed your life? Synchronicity, that mysterious phenomenon that seems to connect events in an almost magical way, is always in action, but it's up to you to recognize it. It's not about rushing, but rather a calm readiness, a constant watchfulness of your spirit to pick up on these subtle signs. Imagine being at a harbor and a boat passes by once a day. You have the choice to board or watch the boat disappear on the horizon. You stay, thinking you'll have another chance tomorrow, but maybe the next boat will be different, or the waters won't be as calm. This is the kind of opportunity we're talking about here. Acting now is not a move of desperation, but a call to higher awareness. It's understanding that every moment carries with it a unique potential for transformation. And when you're fully present, both in body and mind, you become capable of seeing that the universe is extending its hand to you. This act of stepping into the now isn't a blind leap into the unknown, but rather a conscious step guided by inner trust, a trust that something greater is directing your movements. And here comes the big question: why do we delay what we deeply desire? Often, fear is the invisible barrier that stops us from moving forward. Fear of failure, fear of leaving our comfort zone, fear of the unknown. However, acting in the moment is the antidote to these fears. It's the only way to turn potential into reality, to step out of the shadow of doubt and into the light of realization. When we postpone action, we allow our fears to become our guides, and ironically, these guides never take us where we want to go. So ask yourself, am I ready to recognize and seize these opportunities? Can I leave hesitation behind and trust that the universe has a plan for me? The answer to these questions could be the beginning of a journey that goes beyond what you could ever imagine. A journey where every step you take today echoes into a future more aligned with who you truly are. While you reflect on the importance of the now, it's interesting to start understanding that behind our actions and intentions lies something even deeper. A philosophy, perhaps, that describes the power of our thoughts and how they influence our reality in invisible yet powerful ways. There's a truth that many of us ignore for much of our lives. The human mind is an incredibly powerful tool, not just for solving everyday problems, but for literally shaping the reality around us. You may have never heard of Ernest Holmes, but his ideas paved the way for a deep understanding of how our consciousness acts as the creator of our world. Holmes didn't see the mind as just a center for processing information, but as a factory for realities, where every thought is a cog that, when set in motion, generates visible and invisible transformations in our lives. According to Holmes, our thoughts and beliefs function like seeds. Imagine that every time you think of something, Whether it's a desire, a dream, or a premonition, you are planting a seed in the soil of your consciousness. And just like any garden, what you nurture is what grows. If you plant thoughts of abundance, courage, and love, that's what will eventually bloom in your life. On the other hand, if what you're feeding is fear, scarcity, or doubt, that's exactly what you'll see multiply. The mind is fertile ground, and it's up to you to choose what you want to cultivate. Holmes proposed a radical idea for his time, that reality is not something fixed, imposed upon us, but something malleable and shaped by our consciousness. And this is more than an abstract concept, it's a key to personal transformation. Think about the last time you faced an apparently insurmountable challenge. Maybe it was a financial difficulty, a crumbling relationship, or an unexpected change. If you managed to overcome it, it's because, on some level, you chose to change your perspective. You decided to look at the situation as a problem to be solved, not as a permanent obstacle. This decision to change perspective is exactly what Holmes describes as the power of the mind in action. Holmes's philosophy is an invitation for you to take control of your own life. He believed that we are all capable of creating a better reality as long as we become aware of our thoughts and intentions. There's a deep beauty in this idea that we are not victims of chance, but active co-creators of our destiny. And if the reality you see around you is a reflection of your thoughts, then the key to changing it is simply changing those thoughts. It seems simple, but requires constant vigilance. The ability to observe yourself and consciously choose what to keep and what to discard. Imagine each of your thoughts as a brick. You're building a house, and each brick you add defines the structure of that house. Bricks of fear and scarcity will build tight walls and small windows. Bricks of hope, joy, and confidence create spacious, bright spaces where you can breathe and truly be yourself. Holmes suggests that we have this capacity, the ability to consciously choose which bricks to use. And it's not about blind optimism, but a deep understanding that our external reality is a direct reflection of what we cultivate internally. As you reflect on the idea that your thoughts can literally shape your reality, it's natural to start wondering how this relates to even more universal laws. Is there a greater force that governs how our thoughts and intentions return to us? How do these thoughts align with the energies we attract and the results we reap? The universal laws that govern the universe are, in many ways, like the physical laws we learned in school. Just like gravity or the motion of a pendulum, these laws operate invisibly but with tangible effects in our daily lives. The law of attraction and the law of cause and effect are among the most powerful, and understanding them can change the way you see yourself and the world around you. The law of attraction may initially seem almost mystical, but think of it as a simple extension of the fact that whatever we focus our attention on grows. It all starts in the field of the mind. What you think and feel has a direct impact on what you attract. If you focus your energies on positive thoughts, abundance, and health, you will naturally tend to attract these experiences. This is because our minds, like a magnet, have the ability to attract energies that vibrate at the same frequency as the thoughts we cultivate. Imagine yourself, for example, as a radio. You can only hear the music if you tune in to the right frequency. If you're constantly tuned into the channel of fear or scarcity, that's what you'll find around you. But if, on the contrary, you tune into the channel of abundance, opportunities, and well-being will begin to appear in unexpected ways. Meanwhile, the law of cause and effect is an inevitable reminder that everything we do, think, or say generates a consequence. Every action you take sends a ripple into the universe, like a stone thrown into a lake. The ripples may start small, but they have the power to spread and touch every shore. If you act with pure intentions, kindness, and courage, you can be sure that those qualities will come back to you, even in ways you may not have anticipated. It's the law of return, often associated with the concept of karma. This concept suggests that there is no coincidence in what we experience, but rather a reflection of what we have chosen to plant along the way. When combined, these two laws create a powerful vision of our role as co-creators of our lives. They remind us that we are not merely living passively in a chaotic universe. On the contrary, we are active participants who can influence the course of our experiences based on what we think, feel, and do. The responsibility these laws place upon us is both liberating and challenging. Liberating because they show us that we have the power to change our circumstances. Challenging because they make us realize that we are often responsible for the very obstacles we face. By applying the law of attraction and the law of cause and effect, you are invited to become aware of every choice, every thought, and every action. Understand that every moment is an opportunity to plant a new seed to initiate a new cycle of cause and effect. If you've ever felt frustrated with the challenges life has presented to you, maybe it's time to look within and ask, what thoughts have I been nurturing? What actions have I been taking? How is this shaping my current experience? This kind of introspection is not easy, but it is the path to beginning to understand how universal forces are working in your favor, or against you. So, if everything we do, think, and feel creates a web of consequences and attraction, to what extent are we truly separate from the universe around us? What deep connection might we be missing? There's a common, almost inevitable belief that we are separate beings from the world around us. We see ourselves as individuals, each with our own story, our own challenges, our own victories and defeats. But what if this idea of separation wasn't exactly true? What if the line we draw between me and the universe was just a mental construct? This is one of the most intriguing questions that philosophy and spirituality invite us to explore. How deeply are we, in fact, connected to everything around us? Many spiritual traditions teach that everything is interconnected. Think of a tree. Its roots spread through the soil, absorbing nutrients, and the tree grows, providing shade, oxygen, and a home for various creatures. This tree doesn't exist in isolation. It's part of a larger system, a web of life that includes the soil, water, sun, and all the beings that depend on it. We, as humans, are not so different. While we tend to see ourselves as autonomous entities, we are immersed in a vast and complex ecosystem where every action we take, no matter how small, has an impact. Ernest Holmes described this interconnectedness in a fascinating way. He saw each individual as a unique expression of universal energy. Just as a drop is part of the ocean, each of us contains within ourselves the essence of the whole. We are not separate but immersed in a shared field of energy, an underlying unity that manifests itself in unique ways in each of us. When we understand this, we begin to realize that the barriers between ourselves and others are illusory. The emotions, thoughts, and even actions of each person reverberate, influencing and being influenced by this greater field. But this connection goes beyond just influencing and being influenced. It offers us a sense of purpose and belonging. When we realize that we are part of something greater, the worries of daily life start to take on a different perspective. The feeling of isolation, which often afflicts us, can be softened when we understand that, just as the tree is part of the forest, we are part of a vast universal web. This web includes all living and non-living things, as well as all thoughts and intentions. We are connected not only to the people around us, but also to the very fabric of the universe. Think of moments when you felt completely at peace, perhaps looking at a starry sky or listening to the sound of the ocean waves. These are moments when, without realizing it, you feel this connection with something greater. We are not just observing the universe, we are interacting with it in a continuous cycle of giving and receiving. Our thoughts and intentions have power because they are part of a shared field of energy. When we emit positivity, we contribute to the well-being of this web. When we act out of fear or selfishness, we negatively impact this delicate web. This vision of unity leads us to question how we relate to the world. If we are all part of the same energetic field, how do our individual actions impact the whole? And if we are part of this continuous flow of energy, how can we learn to navigate it more consciously, creating a more harmonious reality, not only for ourselves, but for everyone around us? Time is something we often take for granted as if it were infinite and our opportunities were always waiting for us. But time isn't a straight, constant line. It's cyclical and presents itself at precise moments, offering chances that, if not seized, may never be repeated in the same way. This urgency that time brings is not an attempt to put us in a state of anxiety, but rather an invitation for us to be present and attentive to the windows of opportunity that open before us. Imagine life as a series of doors that open and close. Each door represents a unique chance, maybe a new job, a relationship, or even a deep spiritual insight. These doors don't stay open forever. Some close gently, while others slam shut, signaling that the opportunity is gone. The key is to notice when one of these doors is opening and have the courage to step through it, even if what's on the other side is unknown. Because at its core, life doesn't wait. It moves constantly, and we need to be in tune with that movement. This perception of time as a series of cycles and opportunities resonates in many spiritual and philosophical traditions. The phases of the moon, the seasons of the year, natural cycles, all these remind us that existence is made up of moments of growth, harvest, rest, and renewal. If we resist the natural flow of these cycles, we often feel lost or stuck. The same happens in our personal journey. There are moments when the energy of the universe seems to align to facilitate our progress, and that's precisely when we need to act. It's not about rushing, but about knowing when it's the right time to plant, to act, to change. Procrastination is often the biggest enemy of our accomplishments. It makes us believe that there will always be a second chance, another better moment to act. But the reality is that some opportunities don't come back. Time is like a river. It flows constantly, and today's waters won't be the same as tomorrow's. Putting things off is like allowing the waters to pass by without diving in, without taking advantage of the current that could take us to new horizons. The urgency of time is a call to conscious action, to wake up to the present and what it offers us now, not tomorrow, not in some uncertain future. So, as you think about your own life, what doors might be opening at this very moment? What opportunities might you be letting slip by, waiting for the perfect moment? Perhaps the perfect moment is right now, and the question is, are you ready to step through that door before it closes forever? Have you ever wondered how many times you've been prevented from achieving something you wanted simply because you believed you weren't capable? Limiting beliefs are like invisible chains that hold us back, often without us even realizing they're there. They are formed from past experiences, things we've heard since childhood, or expectations society places on us. These beliefs, seemingly harmless, shape our view of what is possible or impossible, and if we don't challenge them, they continue to dictate the limits of our lives. Imagine your mind as a vast garden. You consciously planted some of the plants growing there, but many others were put there by other people or circumstances. Limiting beliefs are like weeds that, if not uprooted, start to dominate the soil, suffocating the growth of the plants you truly want to cultivate. For example, if from an early age you heard that money is hard to come by, or that you're not talented enough, these beliefs become deeply rooted truths, making it difficult for any attempt to change your financial or personal reality. The impact of these beliefs is profound because they affect not only what we think is possible, but also how we act. If you believe you're not worthy of love, your actions will unconsciously begin to reflect that belief. You may avoid relationships or sabotage those that start to develop. If you believe you're not smart enough, you might never try something that challenges your abilities, even though, in reality, you're perfectly capable of achieving it. These beliefs act like filters, distorting the way we see the world and limiting the opportunities we're willing to see and seize. Challenging these beliefs requires courage. It's necessary to look inward and question the origin of these thoughts. Where did this idea come from that I'm not capable? Or why do I believe success isn't for me? Often, when we investigate the root of these beliefs, we realize they have no real foundation. They are just stories that have been repeated so many times that we ended up accepting them as unquestionable truths. And when we start to challenge these stories, we create space for a new narrative, one where we are active protagonists, not passive victims of circumstance. But what happens when we start to replace these limiting beliefs with more empowering ones? Imagine replacing the thought, "I will never succeed," with, "I am learning and I can improve." The change may seem subtle, but the effect is transformative. Each time we challenge a negative belief, we open up a new possibility, allowing the infinite potential within us to emerge. It's not an instant process, but each small step in this direction brings us closer to a fuller life that aligns with our true desires. So, what beliefs have you been nurturing without questioning them? Is it time to pull out those weeds and plant something new, something that truly reflects your true potential? There's a wealth of knowledge accumulated over the centuries that, when used correctly, can completely transform the way we live and perceive the world. This ancient wisdom is present in traditions like Buddhism, Hinduism, and many other spiritual practices that invite us to explore our own being and the relationship we have with the universe around us. These traditions teach us that to access our true potential, we must go beyond the surface, diving into practices that help us harmonize mind, body, and spirit. One of these practices is visualization, a powerful tool used by ancient people to bring into reality what they desired to manifest. Visualization means creating a vivid mental image of something you want to achieve as if it were already real. It's like giving shape to the invisible, making the universe begin to align circumstances and opportunities according to this mental image. Visualization is not just about imagining, it's about feeling, connecting with the emotion of the moment, and allowing your body, mind, and spirit to resonate with what you desire. Think of it as an architect creating a detailed blueprint before starting construction. Visualization is the blueprint of what you want to build in your life. Another essential technique is the practice of affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that reprogram the mind, helping to replace limiting beliefs with beliefs that truly empower you. If for years you've told yourself that you're not good enough, that thought has become a truth in your mind. Affirmations are a way to reverse this process. By consciously repeating phrases like, "I am capable," or "I deserve good things," you're planting new seeds in the fertile soil of your mind. Over time, these new seeds begin to grow and eventually replace the weeds of negative beliefs that once occupied space. Meditation, in turn, is the key that opens the doors to deeper consciousness. It teaches us to observe our thoughts without identifying with them. In a world that constantly bombards us with information and stimuli, meditation gives us a moment of pause, a space to reconnect with who we truly are. When we meditate, we become observers of our own minds, and this helps us to notice patterns of thought that may be limiting us. It's in this state of stillness that we can hear the voice of our intuition and align ourselves with the natural flow of the universe. These practices, though seemingly simple, have the power to transform the life of anyone who consistently adopts them. They don't promise instant results, but they offer a sure path to change. Ancient wisdom is not outdated knowledge, but an invitation to rediscover who we are in essence. Each practice, whether visualization, affirmations, or meditation, brings us one step closer to our true potential, helping us align our intentions with the invisible forces that govern reality. Everything we've discussed here points to a power that is and always has been inside you. It's a power that transcends external circumstances and doesn't depend on luck or chance, but on your ability to align with universal forces and shape your reality. Imagine the impact this can have on your life. Imagine being able to look at your challenges and see them not as insurmountable barriers, but as opportunities for growth. Imagine waking up every day with the conviction that yes, you have the ability to create the life you've always dreamed of. This is not an abstract idea, it's a call to action. Now that you understand these laws and the power of your mind, ask yourself, what can I do today to start changing my reality? What's the first step I can take to turn a dream into a tangible truth? It's not about changing everything at once, but about starting to build change, brick by brick, thought by thought. Remember, the universe responds to action, to intention. When you take a step toward your goals, the universe moves with you. You have the power to change, to influence reality, and to co-create with the universe a life of meaning and fulfillment. Every change begins with understanding your role as a co-creator, and the only way to connect with this divine intelligence is through practice and conscious action. We've developed a set of audio tools to help you access this higher state of consciousness. To learn more and get immediate access, click the link on the screen or in the comments. If this video resonated with you, write in the comments, "It made sense to me,"